Hello my lovelies, welcome to another video. If you guys saw my announcement video, I am doing a readathon in June with some lovely ladies, and one of the prompts is a bonus prompt called the Birthday Girl prompt. And this is where you can go to one of the 5 co-hosts of your choosing and read their 5-star or favorite books, whether you get it from their Goodreads or their social media. Well, I am making this video so you guys know what books I recommend that are top tier 5 stars for me. Main reason I'm doing this is because on my Goodreads I have books that I have 5-starred in the past, but I would not 5-star today. One of those, just for an example, is Game of Thrones. I don't want you guys thinking, oh yeah, I definitely recommend Game of Thrones, because I do not. Because of the content that is in there. I read Game of Thrones when before I became a Christian, and when I was still like a baby Christian. I stopped reading in the second book, which is Clash of Kings, if I'm remembering correctly, and the Lord has put it on my heart to never read that series again because of the content that is in it. So therefore, I don't want you guys going to my Goodreads to pick a 5-star, because like I said, there's just stuff on there that I would not recommend today. That's what this video is for, if you choose me as the co-host that you want to do the birthday prompt. I'll also say I will let you guys know if these books fit any of the other prompts. That way, if you don't want to use any of these for the birthday girl prompt, but you see something that you might want to read, I will let you know what they fill in the other prompts. I do have physical books and I have Kindle/audiobooks. We'll go over the physical books first. That way we can get those out of the way, and then we'll go over what I have on Kindle/audio. First and foremost, obviously I'm going to recommend the Bible. It is #1 top tier of my favorite books. If obviously you're not going to read this whole thing in June unless you don't read anything else. Old Testament, the Book of Ruth is my favorite. Absolutely love it. In the New Testament, the Gospel of John. Now, you can read either of those for my birthday girl prompt if you choose me, or if you're going to choose Bible study, which is under Lindsay, you could choose either of those books or a passage from one of those books. Up is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I absolutely love J.R.R. Tolkien. Technically, this is part of a box, but for some reason, after reading these several times, they're like, I don't know, it just won't go back in. So, also while I have them up, Lord of the Rings as well. But Lord of the Rings, either of the 3 books or is one of my top authors, and I love her, kind of like her spookiness without being completely and totally spooky. I grew up being a horror movie fan, and since I came to Christ, I have become kind of a wimp. Like, the stuff that I used to watch, I'd probably, if I were to ever, which I would never do it again, but if I were ever to sit down and watch it, I'd probably be hiding under a blanket, hugging my Bible. But the Lord gave us Jamie Jo Wright, so we could have the spooky without it being creepy or demonic or anything like that. And her faith content is just so beautiful. Out of all of her books, though, The Lost Boys of Barlow Theater has won my heart. Well, I should say, of all of the books I've read of hers, this is my favorite. It was Echo Among the Stones, but this one kind of beat that one out. Funny enough, speaking of horror, This is the only horror book that I will ever recommend. And I fell in love with the movie when I was growing up. Funny enough, the movie came out the year I was born. So the movie is as old as I am. But I ended up reading this book right after I had my first son, little man. I actually fell in love with the book. I think the book is better than the movie. And that is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. This is the only true horror novel I will ever recommend. Next book, I was introduced during school, funny enough, and it was part of the curriculum. It is 7th grade, and it has one of the most faithful adaptations I've ever seen. I mean, obviously they changed a few things in the movie, but it still is one of the most faithful adaptations I've ever seen. And that is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. Absolutely fell in love with this book. I used to have the one with the cover where it was like a boy's face here and then like a bunch of boys' faces here. But I don't know what happened to that book. I have moved a lot in my life. I think once we hit Kansas, it was the first time we actually fully settled down and didn't really move. Though we did move houses a couple times. And then when me and my husband got together, we moved houses 4 times. So yeah, I've since lost my original Outsiders. Had to buy a new edition. Absolutely love this. And it's also set in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I love anything that is set in Kansas, Oklahoma, or Nebraska, because I always feel like we're kind of left out. Like, people forget we exist. Unless they want to crap on the Sooners, which I am a Sooners fan. Last physical book that I'm going to recommend by one of my all-time favorite authors. It was her debut novel. She had reached out to me to do an arc for her. I read it. She got me to cry in the prologue. That never happens, y'all. I hardly cry, especially in the prologue. But her writing was so beautiful, and the content is so beautiful that I absolutely fell in love with this book. It's one of my top tiers, and that is Letter of Grace by T. Bell. If you are looking for anything for Lindsay's pasta prompt, this is it. It deals with a heavy topic. We deal with Emran and Brooks. They have been together since they were 6 years old, and it was so cute. They had, like, she talks about it in like little flashbacks, but they had a playground wedding when they were 6 years old, and they are on the verge of divorce. They have a 3-year-old daughter, and yeah, it's amazing how she did that. To Kindle/audiobooks, one of my top tier books, their book series that I used to own but have since lost through all the moves, that is The Chronicles of Narnia. Absolutely love them. I own the series on audiobook altogether and was slowly rereading that, but I just want the physical books so bad. I'm trying to find them when I go thrifting. So yeah, that's one of my top tiers. Wonderland Creek by Lynn Austen. I absolutely love Lynn Austen. She's one of my favorites. She's actually one of the first Christian authors I've ever read. I think the first ever one I ever read was Hidden Places by her. Wonderland Creek is probably my all-time favorite. And if you want a book that celebrates librarians, this is definitely it. Next one up is the Ilion Chronicles series. I absolutely love this book. this book series. I absolutely love it. I love how it deals with like persecution and stuff. And if you want anything like dragon fantasy, there is dragons later in the series. I think they show up in book 2 or book 3. And I'm really sorry for the loud noise of my son, but he just started doing his running. My confidence level in my memory is way too high because I'm like, oh, I'll remember the author's name. Here I am not remembering the author's name. This Heart of Red, Blood of Blue. I absolutely love this novel. I'm sure you guys have seen it around Christian BookTube before. It is the first Christian fantasy I read after becoming a Christian, and I can't wait to actually own it physically. I'm saving up some money to buy some of my favorite books. Up is A River Between Us by Jocelyn Green. Is it Jocelyn Green? Yeah, it's Jocelyn Green. If you are wanting an enemies to lovers, love your enemy faith content, this is it. So this is during the Civil War. You have her from the Confederate side and him from the Union side. Sherman is going through the South right now and basically taking over. It's really done beautifully. Just fair warning, there is some goriness in it. And what I mean is she ends up helping a Union doctoring soldiers. So, yeah. Gory scenes in it. And there's some trauma. The last book, which if you have not read yet, what are you doing? This is me telling you, you've got to read it no matter what. I don't care if you don't choose me for the birthday girl prompt, but you seriously need to read this book because it's top tier of all. Like, it's up there with Lord of the Rings for me. And what I mean is, I have the Bible, Lord of the Rings, and Chronicles of Narnia. This book is slowly making its way to be in that second spot with Chronicles of Narnia and Lord of the Rings. And that is Ariadne and the Legend of the Fire Rose by our very own Christy A. Cole. Go read it. Go on. Go read it. Like, I don't even care if you use this for our readathon. Drop everything. Go read it. You need to read it. It's so beautifully done. Stopping by with another video. I can't wait to do this readathon with you guys, and I can't wait to see what you guys choose as your picnic. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.